DJ Dewey Rock on the track.
Welcome to Immerse Podcast 360. I'm your host, Maserati. I want to thank you for tuning in. No matter where you are in this metaverse world, we're going to continue to bring you the best quality content and formula that we know how. We want to thank you guys for all the likes, shares, and subscriptions thus far on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. We greatly appreciate all the love that you guys have been giving us here at Immerse 360. We want to thank you for tuning in to this episode of Beyond the Game. This is being brought to you by Burchell Family Insurance, Kick Thrones of Scrap City, Louisiana, and Stepping Stones LLC of Jonesboro, Louisiana, and your own Involved Social and Civic Club. We have a very special guest. He is a legend here in the Scrap City. He's loved all over Northeast Louisiana. He's a veteran with 2 tours, but Scrap City was his first love when he started with us back in 1980s with Bastrop East campus back then when he was there in 1985 to 1986. But he was born in Fort Walton Beach, Florida, where he graduated from Choctaw Watchie High School in 1975, where he is now a Hall of Fame inductee. He is a graduate of Northeast Louisiana University from 1975 to 76, and he was there from 80 to 84 with a BS in HPE and minor in social science, married to Miss Karen Hines, who was a speech language pathologist for 38 years. One son, Garrett, assistant district attorney, LSU and Tulane Law School graduate. He has 5 brothers and 2 sisters of the parents of late Mr. Curtis Hines and Miss Isla Dean Hines. Hey, y'all, this guy was something else at NLU back in the day, where he, in high school, he was an all-state running back and wide receiver, where he received a scholarship to then Northeast Louisiana, now ULM. And check it out, y'all, in all of that, this man has been on 2 tours. He has a numerous amounts of awards with the military over 32 years. He's been commissioned in the Army for the Quartermaster's Corps in 1984, Quartermaster's Officer Basic Combined Armed Services Staff School Command and General Staff College with military service of 35 years. Check out the awards, y'all. Joint Service Commendation Medal, Army Commendation Medal, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers Headquarters, that represents the shoulder sleeve insignia for wartime service, combat action badge, multinational force Iraq, strategic operations centers of the SOC. He is a veteran for real, y'all. He's coached at Bastrop, Carroll, West Monroe, Wasman. He's currently here at Carroll High School. I give you none other than legendary, y'all. Y'all need to get to the phone, the computer, whatever you got to do. He in the building, Coach Gary Hines. How you doing, Coach?
Man, I'm doing fine, man, and thank you for that introduction, man. Y'all know how to bring tears to a guy, man.
No, Coach, you brought tears to us when you departed. We gonna get into that, but for the people in this latter generation who really don't know you, and they're getting to know you because you're still there around Carroll, Wasman, Richwood through the latter years, but kind of share with us and take us back, Coach, to your babies that you loved and Scrap, and share about your growing up over there in Fort Walton, Florida.
Well, coming out of Fort Walton Beach is approximately 8 hours from Monroe. And African Americans, we make up less than 5% of the population. So this high school that I went to, Choctaw High School, one of the big highlights of my high school, that when Emmett Smith was a senior at Escambia High School, my high school beat them for the state championship. And growing up down there, I got opportunity to compete against a guy who eventually became the fastest man in the world, a guy by the name of Houston McTeer. So athletics in that panhandle, man, it is big. So the guy that coached Emmett Smith, Dwight Thomas, coached me in high school as well. And I was one of the first African Americans from my county to receive a major college scholarship. And that's how I ended up in Monroe, and I left. I was here for about a year, met a lot of, matter of fact, Calvin Nat, Jamie Mayo, all of us, we were freshmen together. And I came here to play ball and play ball only, so I didn't take care of my books. So that's how I ended up in the Army. And while I was in basic training, I wrote my coach, who was Heisman Trophy winner, John David Crow. Matter of fact, he was Bear Bryant's first Heisman Trophy winner. And told Coach when I got out the Army, I would love to come back and finish my schooling. And I was able to do that. And met guys that played with Joey Evans, Joey from Bastard. So I ended up meeting the Mr. Bodybuilder of all time, Ronnie Coleman. Matter of fact, we got a chance to work out a few times down there at the high school when he graduated from Grambling. But I was selling cars at Ryan Chevrolet, and I sold a 1985 Astro van to a guy by the name of Jim Clark, and he had two sons. You should remember Chip and Scott.
Yes, sir.
And he asked me, after I sold the vehicle to him, he said, "Are you the same Gary Hines that played football at the NLU?" I said, "Yes, I am." He said, "Well, how would you like to coach?" I said, "Man, I would love to coach." And he told me to go up to the school board, and I talked to some folks up there walking, and this lady asked me, how can I help you? And I told her that Mr. Clark sent me up here and said that they needed a coach over at the junior high school. And she said, no, they don't, there's no position. And by this time, there was this guy hanging at the office, Mr. Sistrom, Jimmy. I didn't know who he was at the time. He waved me to the back and asked me what was my business. And I told him while I was here. And I said, I understand they need a coach over at the Bastard High East. And he said, "We sure do." I said, "Well, that lady up front said y'all didn't have nothing." He told me, "The only thing that lady run up here was her mouth." So I go over there and I meet with Mr. Billy Raven. And long story short, I end up, that's why I started, my wife and I both started teaching her. And man, let me tell you something, buddy. When I got up there and saw all of those guys, man, Jimmy Turner, Briscoe Island, Willie Smith, man, Pat, list just goes on and on and on, and Travis Coleman and Kenny Gaines, Oldham. Man, it was just, it was a happening, man. And so I'm only there for a semester because the track and field coach at the high school had been relieved. And Jimmy said that John Tapp and all them guys said if they didn't have a black, they said no black, no track. They weren't going to run track if they didn't have a black track, because they would use the Coach Piggies, and I also, and Mr. Sistrom said, "Well, look, Dickie Meeks is going to bring you over here next year." He said, "Might well, go over there now and meet the boys." And so I go over there, man, and it was John, Robert Davis, Frank Covington, them Patrick Mansfield, and Wheelers Harris and Joe Harris, those guys, and all them other guys that quit. And so I'm out there working with them for a couple of days, and I told the principal, I said, "Look, if them guys don't come out tomorrow, this is just going to be my team." And that Wednesday, all the guys came out, and we had our first meet. It was up at Neville, and we only had a chance to work with those guys for 2 days. Went over to the Neville meet, man, and we lost the meet by 1 point. And I'm going, my God, look at this talent that we have, But the kids at the junior high, boy, they was upset with me. They was upset with me, man. And I said, "Look, y'all just stay in school. Y'all gonna meet me up at the high school." So eventually, they got over to the high school. And then, God almighty, man, coming up under senior year, I came to Monroe. But they was upset with me again. I said, look, y'all, I'm coming back to your graduation. And I came back and watched the boys and girls graduate, man. But I know I through a lot at one time, man, but that place, my wife and I talk about it all the time. That Bastrop will always have a special place in our hearts because that's where we got our start, man.
Right.
And we love that place, and we love the people.
Right. Coach, and that's why we got you here tonight. We want to give you flowers because you touched so many, and you named the guys, and in particular, Kenny Gaines. You played a very key role in his life, being that father figure. But when we take this intermission, we want to come back, and we still want to reminisce, but we want to hear the truth of what happened to not only you, but Miss Hines, a duo couple, a power couple that had really found the home in Scrop. And Coach, we really want to know why you left after we come after this intermission.
Okay.
Yes, sir. We'll be back with legendary. We got him in the building, Coach Gary Hines, when we return after this intermission.
Immerse 360 Podcasts focuses on uplifting rural and urban areas and dire conditions with no solutions by shedding light on pioneers, athletes, and political figures who have made an impression on Northeast Louisiana and surrounding areas. Immerse understands the social and civic needs to love, learn, live, and laugh. So, tap in every Sunday and Wednesday at 8 p.m. on all social networks and platforms. Always remember, Immerse 360.
Fast life. Purple Sprite. You ain't a hustler, baby. I'm on it.
Welcome back to Immerse 360. This portion of the show is being brought to you by Morehouse Community Development, Robertson Williams Hope and Restoration Community Center, and your own Bro Inc. Photography. We're still here with legendary coach of Northeast Louisiana and two-time tour war veteran, the coach that everyone loves, Coach Gary Hines. Coach, when we went to intermission, you were throwing a lot out there. I know you're so excited, but we want to kind of come back and put the timeline together and share with the babies that miss you and they've been wanting to hear from you, talk to you for over 30-some years now. Tell them, Coach, what really happened, why you had to pack up and leave.
Okay. When I talk to people about why I left, the first thing I emphasize that we did not leave because we were mad. At the community, because the community just showed us so much love, and we still get that love, we saw Ted, man. But anyway, this young coach comes in. He was a native of Bastrop. His name was Sam Jones. And Sam came in and got with our track and field program and took us to another level because we were competitive on the track, in the field, but the big difference was in the distance races. West Monroe and Western, we always finished runner-up district champs because we couldn't compete against them in the middle distance races. So Sam, All-American cross country down at Alcorn, comes on board. And Mr. Emmanuel said, Coach, you need this guy on your program. I said, all right. I said, but I explained to Sam that we didn't have any money. Sam said, I don't care about the money, Coach. This is my school. I want to coach. So, man, he gets old Alvin Windsor. He gets Lewis Nelson and another guy they call Chicken Man. And I talked to Sam a couple weeks ago, and he told me Chicken Man real name. Well, anyway, Sam is training these guys. So when Sam gets on board, man, we complete. We win in the district championship. We win in regional. I said, look, I got a guy, part of our staff. Coach Lloyd was with us. Coach Lloyd was with us. But I said, I got a guy on our staff that the only reason we're winning championships and then making a big showing down at the Louisiana Outdoor Championship at LSU, I said, Coach Sam Jones. And I said, he deserves to be paid. He said, well, Coach, I tell you what you do. We're going to pay him. We're gonna pay him this year, Coach. Come see me in the spring, and we're gonna pay him. So I'm telling Sam, hey, Sam kept telling me, Coach, I said, Sam, I understand. I said, but we're not going to be what we are without you, and you deserve to be paid. And man, I went over there to see Mr. Falk to make sure Sam was going to get paid, and he said, and he lied to me. And now here I am telling Sam, because a man's word is his bond, and and Sam didn't take it as if I lied to him, but that's how I took it, because I'm that kind of guy, and that was a tipping point that really made my mind up, because if you're gonna lie to me, if you're gonna lie, what else you lying about? And I just won't go do that. We couldn't do that. And they had finally 4-laned from Monroe to back, because we always lived in Monroe, but the ride was getting it was kind of tough, getting home 3 or 4 in the morning sometimes. But the main reason, and the bottom line up front, the reason we left is because I was lied to, man, and I just don't work that way, man. And Sam deserved that. Sam deserved, and you guys deserve Sam, man. And we still talk. And I told Sam, if I ever get a chance to put him on my staff, I'd get him again, man. Just a great guy. But bottom line up front, it wasn't you guys. I'm telling you, it wasn't the community. It was it's grown folks, lying. And I can't, my integrity, it's all about integrity, man. But like I say, Sam never took it as if I lied to him, but he understood, because, it was just different up there, man. I remember in 1986, it was just before prom. And I asked the boys, I said, are y'all ready for your prom this weekend? And this one guy said, Coach, their prom is this week, ours is next week. I said, huh?
Tell him, Coach.
I said, what? Their prom is this week, and y'all prom. And so this guy, I really can't believe him. So I asked one of the other guys. I said, look, man, is it true what this cat told me? What did he tell you, Coach? He said their prom is this week, and our prom next week. He said, yeah, Coach, we have separate proms up here. And man, you talking about feeling bad. I said, now here I am working in a system where the proms are segregated. And I graduated from high school in 1975. My oldest brother graduated in 1970, and we all going to prom. And I'm telling you, that was, in my opinion, that was one of the reasons it took so long to get the athletic program together, because this mess, And again, it's not the children, it's the grown folks, So I said, if there's one thing before I leave Morehouse Parish, it's one thing that's gonna happen. These kids don't have integrated proms. And Oak Stacy Caps, she'll tell you today. She and I both put that thing together, man. And them people, she ran for student body president. And she told them, if y'all elect me student body president, I will try to have the first integrated prom in Morehouse Parish. And she won. They brought the voting machines. They brought the voting machines to the school. And
wow.
They were still trying to sabotage that thing. And the students voted and majority ruled, man. And then in 1991, if I'm not mistaken, 1991 was the first year in the history of Bastrop High School they had an integrated prom, man. And I look at, stuff like that, man. Again, it's not the children. And I see it today. People are always talking about these kids, and I tell them all the time, man, it's not children. God's still making kids the same way they used to make. I say it's grown folks. And it's down here in Monroe City too. Don't get it twisted. It's down here. You got grown folks standing in the way of children. And parents don't want to be parents. And that's something else them cats up there appreciated. You know, when I got on them, they knew I was doing it out of love, and they knew I was doing it right. And everywhere I go, man, and that's one thing up there, tell you. And I learned that from my daddy. Discipline. You got to be disciplined, you know. And but that's why I got out of there. That's why we got out of there, man, because Cat wasn't being truthful.
You know, Coach, and you know, we had Coach Sam Jones on the show earlier, and he spoke about that, about not getting paid. But we were speaking earlier about, you know, you done coach now over 30-some years throughout Northeast Louisiana and been in the military at the same time. We were speaking earlier about the transition from sport to sport, and you kind of had some conflict with guys coming and transitioning from one particular sport to track. Kind of share with us about your idea about that during that time period.
Yeah, especially, you know, with the basketball program. They had this basketball coach named Bob Curry. And I'm wondering why are these athletes are not be on the track or playing football, you know? And the guys, they just told me, Coach Curlin said, if we play anything other than basketball, we're not going to be on the basketball team. I said, really? So I asked this guy, Johnny Roberts, in particular. Now, he messed over Patrick Liley, Pat Shoot, man, Travis Coleman. Man, we're talking about athletes, man. We're talking about athletes. And I asked Johnny Rob in particular, I said, Johnny, why are y'all so loyal to this guy? And he said, Coach, he'll give us a trophy. I said, huh? I said, you mean to tell me, if I give you a trophy, you'll come out for track and field? I sure will, Coach. Well, the next day I showed up to Bastrop High with a trophy. you know, Johnny Rob came on down to the track, man. And so I said, Johnny, before he came, I said, Johnny, you are one of the best basketball players on this game. You think that man is just going to let you walk around? I said, come on, man. I said, come on. And Johnny comes down, and he jumped his junior year. Then the senior year, Johnny tied the American record holders regional high jump record. And I was talking to the American record holder 3 weeks ago at the state powerlifting meet. And his name is Hollis Conway. Hollis jumped 6'11" 3/4, and that's what Johnny Robb did in less than a year and a half, man. So I'm thinking, if this guy is jumping, and nobody's trying to take him out of basketball or anything. Hey, man, I encourage it. I played football, basketball, baseball, and ran track, man. And I like today what people are saying today, that last year, out of the top 30 guys that got drafted to the NFL last year, they were all multi-sport athletes. These people are looking for athletes. They're not looking for football players. They're looking for athletes. And Baxter High School has some of the best athletes in the state, you know. And but they were being taken advantage of, you know, hijacked, and that wasn't right. But Miss Lamito, I told Miss Lamito, I said, Miss Lamito, I've been telling you about Bob. Because Bob he was getting ready to mess over Juju. And I asked the boys, where's Juju? I said, Coach, Juju done got switched to basketball. I said, huh? So I did my homework, and I told, I came home, and I went to Ryan Chevrolet, where I've been working for. I got to basketball. And I said, Mike, you always said, if I need a job, you'll always have me. He said, yeah, what's wrong? I said, well, look, tomorrow, if this basketball coach lie to me, I'm a whipping. And I know I'm not going to be able to come back. A black man whooping a white man in Morehouse Parish, I'm not going to have my job. So I'm coming right now. He said, yeah, you can have your job back. So when I got to school that morning, I went and told Mr. Amito, if Bob Curley lied to me, I'm a whipping. Well, Coach, I said, I get it, man. I get it. Well, I stood in Bob's door, and one way in, one way out. And I told him, I said, now, Bob, if you lie to him, I'm going to do something to you. And he told the truth, and he went back and switched Juju's schedule, man, because I just got tired of it, man. And these boys, you know, I guess they weren't used to a black man speaking up. I don't know, man, but they had the wrong guy. You know, I didn't go for bad, but I'm supporting. I'm gonna take care of my kids, and you're not gonna mess over kids while I'm around.
And, you know, Coach, and I'm looking at you. You're a special person in so many ways. You know, I look in your childhood and seeing that you was part of the first integration class in 1966 or 67 in Okaloosa County, Florida, and I see you was already equipped for Morehouse Parish with the bigotry, because you were grand yourself. You was one of the first ones, only two blacks I'm looking at in the classroom at that time. Kind of share with us, Coach, about how that was for you as a young man doing that over there in Florida.
Well, you know, my first 3 years of school, we were segregated. You know, went to Brooks Elementary, and I'm gonna be honest, man. I don't ever remember seeing white people. And they were there. We just didn't see them. Not in the part of town I lived in. But anyway, in 1966, 67, is when Okaloosa County schools integrated. So it was Ocean City Elementary. That was the name of the school. And we must have had about 250 students. Well, we were kind of like the Little Rock Nine, man, up there in Little Rock, Arkansas.
Right.
So it was 9 of us. Now, I have another picture. Now, there's another African-American in that class. She just on the other side. You can't see her. Sarita Baker, you can't see her. And the African-American girl that you see, her name is Kathy Lastly. And we still communicate. And you see, you know, in the whole school, it was just 9 African Americans. And boy, I remember my first white friend, Randy Matthews. We was out there and for recess, and this other white guy called me the N-word, and we got busy. And some of them other boys tried to jump in, and Randy helped me out, man. And I would say Randy was my first white friend I had, man. And Randy ended up dying in a motorcycle accident by the time we got into 9th grade. But I'll never ever forget him. Now, so I was there at Ocean City. Then I was part of the Cub Scouts and the Boy Scouts, and again, I was the only African American in my den and in my, you know, and so I've always been in situations where it's been me and not a lot of us. If we go to my high school, we had over 2,500 students, 63 African Americans on campus. 753 of us graduated June 2nd, 1975. And out of the 753 seniors, it was only 12 African Americans. And so I never had a whole lot of, matter of fact, I never had a official black coach in my life other than my daddy, you know, all the way through.
Wow.
Never.
Wow.
You know, so you know, I'm built for this. You know, I'm built for this. And I know how to get along with people, you know. But I remember when I first came, got it in LU. Some of my black friends asked me, "Hey man, why you hanging out with them white guys?" I said, "Man, I'm hanging out with my teammates." "Man, you different." "What do you mean?" I said, "No, dog." I said, "No, man. I get it." I said, I get it. I know where I'm at. Don't think I'm wrong. But my daddy raised us. Hey man, people are people. Now, God ain't gonna get me for being a Christian. Now, he gonna get them other folks for doing everything. So I can't worry about the motherfuckers. You know, I can only do, you know, what I can do. And when I got to Carroll, man, I'm telling you right now, a lot of those black coaches didn't trust me because I didn't talk like them. I didn't act like them. You know, I'm from Florida, man. You know, it was crazy, man. And then I got to West Monroe. Got to talk. You know what I mean? But I've always been that way, man. But when you've been in the military, man, and then, like I said, going all the way back, if you look at that last football game I played, look in that picture, you see I'm the only black guy around that trophy. But that's never been a problem with me, you know, because you got issues. I don't have that problem, you know. I love people, you know, and but I do understand, you know, that North Louisiana, man, and especially Morehouse Parish, you know that was, you know, literally the railroad tracks separated, you know, the community. One day, Coach Meeks told me to go over to the country club to get the tractor to cut the field. And I went over there, man, and that guy said, "Man, what are you doing here?" I said, "Coach Meeks sent me over to get the tractor. I'm a football coach at the high school. Y'all can't come in here, huh?" I said, "Man, hey, but I trust you me. I'm not gonna force my way in, you know." And I went back and told Coach. I said, "Coach, you got to send Coach South with somebody." I said, "What do you mean?" Said we can't come in there. Man, that was crazy.
And Coach, we're gonna take another intermission, but I want to say this: it's so many people, administrators, teachers, coaches that have grown fond and planted a seed here in Bastrop, and because of the politics and the bigotry, you guys are unsung heroes, and that's why we got you here. You are part of this culture. You help with the first integrated prom. You helped change some of the dynamics about black versus white while you were here, Coach, and that's why you're so special. And it took 30-some years, but we're giving you your flowers today, and we want you to know that plant that you and Miss Hines planted, that flower still blooms and it produces fruit.
Man, that's awesome.
And we're going to take an intermission, and when we come back, Coach, we want to know, how are you able to balance coaching, going to war, going to do different duties, and coming back and volunteering your time and being a faithful husband, a faithful educator, and a faithful servant for your country when we come back after this intermission. We got him in the building. Everybody been asking. He's here with us now. Scrap City's first love, legendary Coach Gary Hines, when we return after this intermission. Welcome back. This portion of the show is being brought to you by our Facebook supporters, Brass Section, Stardom Networks, Line Eye, Club Planet, Funksville, Real Talk with Miss Nisi, and shout out to Yo Looking Ass Entertainment, Mr. Green over there. We're still here with legendary Scrap City's first love, who kept our track team in contention year in and year out, and he had started something that bigotry and lies would take away from a generation. We got him here. Still, we're here with veteran and legendary Coach Gary Hines. Coach, before we went to intermission, you had brung us all the way up to date, how you have been prepped by your father to deal with the bigotry and to be a people's person. But through all of that, all the lives that you touched throughout your career, you somehow found a way to be a faithful servant for your country in the armed services. How were you able to do it?
We had a cliche that says, No mission too difficult, no sacrifice too great. Be first, be first. And that was something that our drill sergeants instilled in us, while we were in boot camp. But I've been all over the world. I've been literally all over the world. I have trained people, have served with people that don't even speak English. But I'm going to tell you something that's universal. That smile is universal. And regardless what language or what country you're in, a smile says a lot. And being in Germany at age 19 and touring, going all over Europe, visiting concentration camps like Dachau. I was stationed in a town where they had the Nuremberg trials when Hitler and them had exterminated all those Jews. And I actually been in that courtroom where they had the trials, stood in Adolf Hitler's footprints there in Nuremberg.
Wow.
So training with the Russian soldiers and Czechoslovakians, just our allies, just going there for single. It's like a ball game. Everybody's got one mission, and that mission is to overcome the enemy. And so growing up in the Church of God in Christ, that's the church I was raised in. Discipline, being an athlete, discipline. So the transition from civilian life to military life was easy, because even though my dad didn't wear a drill sergeant hat, he was that drill sergeant, buddy. And I got 5 brothers and 2 sisters, and I'm the 3rd oldest. And so we learned. My mama taught us how to make our beds and how to clean and take care of that. So when I got the basic training, man, that was a cakewalk. But then always a mission. You have a mission. Overcome the objectives. What are the rules of engagement? And going to Iraq, man, that was the first time I went to war. And I'd always tell my coaches, I say, look, guys, y'all need to learn, how to strategize and how to coach. And coach track and field's got 18 different events. I said, because one day I'm going to walk in here and tell y'all, hey, I got to pop smoke. I got to pack my bags. And I've been telling people that for 20-something years. And I never thought I was going to get deployed. But I ended up supposed to go to Iraq December 05. But the general got our deployment date moved to the right. So we ended up leaving around April 2006. And there, man, we go to Fort Sill, Oklahoma. I'm thinking we're going to be there for about a month. Man, we trained up for 5 days. Next thing I know, 5 days later, I'm in Kuwait. And 2 days later, I'm in Baghdad, Iraq. I'm in the green zone.
Wow.
And man, that first night there, buddy, there was a 2.5-hour firefight. And I'm going, how am I going to survive, with all this going on? We did our training, you go through your training and all, but now it's the real deal. Joker's shooting at you, man. Joker's got you in their crosshairs. And so the good Lord, I was a Christian before I went, and I came back even a stronger Christian. So one of the worst experiences, my son was in the 7th grade. And it was like a 12-hour difference. And I would always talk to him. They were going to work. I was going to bed. And I was talking to him one morning, and the sirens went off. And when that happens, all communication is cut off. And so I made sure once I got a chance to get back on, I called my wife, told her to go up to that school and let my son know everything all right. Let him know you're not just telling them that. You're not just telling them that. And so we got hit pretty hard in that particular day. So we come back home in 07, and then turn around a year later, got to go again. This time we're going to Afghanistan. And I'm asking the boss, and what I would do while I was in Iraq. I was coaching at Carroll. I was coaching at Wiseman, and I would email the workouts that the boys was going to do, every day. I'd email them and say, because when I got back, I didn't want to have to start over. Once you get that program locked in, and then you don't want anybody to deviate or tweak it. So that happened. So that kept me going.
Exactly.
Kept me like I was still here. So then I go to Afghanistan. Now, Iraq, if I got there during the Civil War, man. I remember my first week there, man. This is bad. My first week there, 1,400 people died within 4 square miles from where I worked every day. And I'm sitting there thinking how blessed I am. How the Lord spared me, man. And I go, I met a cat that didn't believe in God, and I asked him why, and he went through it. But either way around, we talked, and I told him, I'm not trying to convince you the way my thinking, but anyway, we're good friends today. And he got back home 6 months before I did, and he called me and said, Hines, you know what? I said, what, man? He said, I believe in God again. I said, Nate, man, I'm glad. I said, that wasn't my intent. I said, but then I said to myself, here's a guy confessing out loud that he don't believe in God, and he made it home. Oh, I said, I'm going to be all right, man. I'm going to be fine.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to be fine. So I go back to Afghanistan. In Afghanistan, I was the mayor of this base we were on, man. One of the best jobs I ever had. Again, it was almost like coaching. I'm taking care of soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines. I'm training people. I'm making sure everything is squared away, man. And got a chance to go to Russia, man. And but this big old world is small, man. This big old world is small. End up meeting a cat from Winsboro, Louisiana, man. I worked with his aunt in Carroll, So, but the transition, the military and athletics, man, and I'm telling you, the parallel. There's so many similarities. With that coach, you got a whistle and a cap. That drill sergeant, he got that brown round and a whistle. So it's the same. You just wear a different uniform, man. There's so many similarities in the military and in athletics.
Right, Coach. And like I said, Coach, it was our intention to get you early on, but I know we officiate, you coaching, you do a lot of things. As a matter of fact, before I let it go, you was on the same crew with me officiating football. But it's just an honor, Coach, to hear from you. It's so many that you have them in memory, you got them in your heart, but you haven't been able to talk to them, or you haven't seen them in years. And the conversations they have and the things I've heard since I've been doing this podcast about you, and how you touched those guys back then in the late 80s and the early 90s is just phenomenal. It's remarkable, and it's reputable that you get your flowers here today, Coach.
Hey, man. Hey, like I say, man, I've been telling folks ever since you contacted me. I've been telling folks, man, I'm like a kid waiting on in the candy store, man. I'm being real, man. I'm being real, man. I've been bubbling, man, and I thank you for giving me an opportunity, man. I don't take stuff like this for granted. I don't, man. And it's good that I got a chance to talk, and you let me have my way. I didn't have no script to go by. To just be coach, man. And that's all I know how to be is me.
Right, and you want, and that's why the seed that you and Miss Hines tell her too, that we love her, we miss her too. We never forgot about her with her gorgeous self, and she always been one of the prettiest teachers I ever had. And you let her know that, Odom, we never forgot about it. We miss you guys, and you guys did a great job with us, and the things you guys instill, the love and the discipline and the heart love, and we knew it was out of love, is still sticking with us, Coach.
Yeah, and I drive through there every now and then. We just drive up there and drive around sometimes. So you might just see us one day, man. I the last time I was up there, John Tappan's niece, I went to her memorial, the cheerleader down in Southern. So I was up there for that. And in the time for that, man, had to go pay my respect to Raymond Tony, man.
Yes, sir.
And
yes, sir.
We just, Chris Avery, we just did Chris, But I'd say, man, I love y'all. And no matter where I go, no matter what happens, Bastrop, Louisiana will always have a place in our hearts. And again, we love y'all, and I'll definitely pass it on to my wife. And she loves you guys. We talk about y'all all the time, man. I'm telling you.
Yes, sir.
But thank you again.
Yeah, Coach, and I'm gonna keep rubbing it in y'all face in North Louisiana. Y'all heard it first. We know he belonged to y'all now, but he was ours first. So we get to claim that stamp and put him in Emerge 360 Wall of Fame here over in Scrap City. So y'all know that Coach planted a seed. Coach, we enjoyed you, man. You stay healthy. Tell Miss Hines we love y'all. We miss y'all, man. And anything we can do at Emerge 360, Coach, you just let us know.
Sure will. And thank you.
Hey, we want to let you guys know, we want to thank you guys for tuning in for this episode of Beyond the Game. We had a great guest for you. I know you missed him, and I know you love him. You heard him here first on Emerge 360. We want to tell you guys, stay involved, stay encouraged, and most of all, y'all stay immersed. We out of this thing.
This song. Ooh, yeah.
Samir Ray Sean.
Come on and keep it real with me, y'all. I know the streets, yeah, they still call, but we're trying to fall into it fall. See you through the struggle, they're trying to kill us all. Come on and keep it real with me, y'all. I know the streets, yeah, they still call, but we're trying to fall into it fall. See you through the struggle, they're trying to kill us all.
Can you remember being little kids? Running the streets from block to block, having fun as youngsters that soon stop and flooded rocks. So the streets got took by killers and crooks that look like they was the king of many men, but left the weak mighty shook. I'm tripping off some things that might take a lifetime to get over. I pray my mama shake back before my life for hers is over. If I told you guarantee I saw it, felt it, or heard it, home these streets done got dirty. It really ain't worth it. All the money, women, big rims, blood diamonds, you're splurging. Somebody watching ready to catch you slipping and kill you, heard me? Cause I done seen cats get it, lose it, and get it again. They try to get out the game, but get snatched to the pen. I wish there was a way I can sit down and explain to these cats that there's more than one way to get in the dime piece and stacking stacks. The streets is watching, the enemy plotting, man, and that's a fact. Hurricane Katrina hit them hard and pushed them back. Come on.
And keep it real with me, y'all. I know the streets, yeah, they still call, but we're trying to fall into it fall. See you through the